Well, thanks everybody. Is my role as an ambassador at Bankstown RSL, and your role, Em, as an ambassador at Bankstown RSL. A lot going on in your life, by the way. You've
busy. I'm having another baby, actually.
Yeah, that's great,
yes,
isn't it?
Getting ready for the footy season. But the favourite part of my week is doing anything for Bankstown RSL.
Oh, bloody oath. Now, we've got the guys here, O'Shea, Mark and Shane from Bourke, Bourke Warriors, which is 8 hours in a car away from where we are. This is our CEO, Scott Dickson. Hello, mate.
How are you, mate?
Mate, how the hell, or I should say, how did we get involved with a team from Bourke?
Well, it was the Monday after the grand final, and I just turned the telly on, and a kid ran out, well, it's not a kid, but he ran out on the field. I said, look, my wife, it looks like Tony Pello. What did he go and play? Or Colby Pello, one of the two.
Yeah.
And my wife said, well, that's because it is. And then we thought, well, what would he be playing? So then we started and we watched, and I guess I'd grown up in the bush, so I knew the Indigenous carnivals. I knew, but in the 70s and 80s, the Indigenous carnivals, like most footy, was more grog and fight than footy.
Yeah.
So we then sat and watched, I think, and the guys would go to the semi-final, and then we thought, we'll watch the final. And so I think I'll make some of this up, but I think they got beaten by a field goal in the final.
Yeah.
So then my son came home, and I asked him, I said, well, how can you see Tony Pello? You know, he played footy with him as a kid. And so I knew the boys. I wouldn't say I know them well, but I've known the boys for a while. I said, how do they end up with a team from Bourke? Like, how do they have 20 players? There's not enough for a team in Bourke itself. And then how do they fund it? So that's how it started. And then Tony rang me, I think, and then I talked to Shane, and I said, well, how do you fund it? Like, if you go up in the bush, footy's not like the city where there's leagues, clubs, and someone funds you. And then Shane said, it roughly costs us about $120,000 a year. You think, far out. How do you raise that from a town of 1,000 people? And the biggest sponsorship in the town's $1,000. So I then asked if we bought their kit, their playing kit, and tried to put a bit together for them, would it help? And we then had to go to our board and just say, look, this is the story. Like, I know it's in Bourke, or, they build a team for around the station kids to come from the area, play for Bourke and go to the Indigenous Carnival. Would you be happy for us to buy the kit? And our guys said, yeah, it'd be fantastic. And then that's when we made contact with these guys and said, well, look, how do we move this forward? So since then, we've met the guys, we've bought the kit, and we're just waiting now for the carnival, I guess. It's probably where we're at.
It's a great story.
What was the reaction like when you get that call, knowing that the biggest sponsorship you can get is $1,000? So help from Bankstown is huge for you guys. Do you remember the emotions when you got that call?
Yeah, it's a massive relief. So Tony called me and let me know about the relationship with Scott and his son. And coming out of the knockout, you never want to be coming out broken, unfortunately, due to the population of work, most times we are. And that started us off with, like, all of our apparel paid for, so that was a really big relief straight away. And I told Mark and Tony and Colby and the boys who know Scott, and yeah, that was just relieved of massive stress. And there's a couple of budgets that we have to work on. Accommodation's the most costly, but then apparel comes next, so that's about a $15,000 cost that was taken away from Bankstown RSL.
Yeah, I would assume, Shane, that a place like Bourke, like any town, like any city, when the team's going well, the town has a better vibe about it, and everybody's a little bit uplifted. So tell us what success on the football field for the Bourke Warriors means to a little town 8 hours away from here like Bourke.
Yeah, it's massive. We've been playing in a knockout since 1983. The knockout started in 1971, and we've backed up each year since 1983. So doing so means that we have to, raise money and try and lift community spirit to get involved in that sort of stuff. That's massive. We've made 4 final series now in the career knockout. 6 or 6.
6, yeah.
Yeah, 6 and 1 grand final appearance last year where we were unlucky not to win that. But a win like that, a town like Bourke, we get associated with negative data around drugs, alcohol and crime and that sort of stuff. And our boys playing in the Korean knockout, like we're providing a really good platform for the boys to go and play professional sports, but also, gain employment, training and that sort of stuff. And I think out of our side this year, we've got 2 guys who got NRL contracts. So one of the guys James Walsh, who's got a contract with the Cowboys this year, and Ollie Pascoe, he just played All-Stars and he's got contracted to the Titans. But then we look at O'Shea, who's with Penrith Brothers, and we get Tony, Colby, Pillay, the boys playing up in Denton Cup and that sort of stuff. So all those wins, they all, contribute to better contracts and better health and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, O'Shea, as Shane said, you're playing in the Ron Massey Cup, which is getting stronger and stronger every year. Question without notice: you are from Bourke originally, mate? Did you come down from Bourke?
Nah, so I'm not originally from there, but I come to Bourke about 2 years ago.
Yep.
But my brother's always played for him.
Right.
So it's always been like a club I looked up to.
Yeah.
So, but when I first came there, it was like they just treated me like family. So like, now Bourke's home for me now.
Yeah.
Like his team is home.
What when you say treated you like family, we always hear that with the regional areas, but can you describe how they took you in and how they made such a difference to your life?
Just with, like, it's even outside of footy, like they're there for me, like through everything. So just when I'm there at the carnival, treat me with everything, whatever I need, they bring it. And yeah, but after footy, like even after the knockout, they're there all throughout the year for me. So it's good.
The standard of the knockout now, the Koori knockout, the standard of the top 3 or 4 sides, it's just amazing. The attacking football is just absolutely wonderful. So the bloke we haven't yet is the bloke in the middle, and he's just as passionate about it as everybody. Mark, tell us now, Scott and Bankstown RSL have been able to help you out with the kit. You've spoken about travel costs. How else can people help this great community? Bourke, I assume once upon a time it was a great mining town or a great farming town, but it's just sort of dwindled down and down. How can we help this footy team?
Yeah, just through funding and just financial support. It's like the drought and all that sort of stuff, that's all been taken away, funding and that from back home. And then, like nowadays, when we move out from there, like we don't sort of get that support anymore from back home. Like even though my parents and all, like majority of my family still is out there, and like it's just hard to get financial from anywhere else, And like Bankstown RSL, like just like made it a bonus,
Can I chime in there for a second?
Yeah, mate, of course.
I do know, look, if you grow up in the bush, I grew up in a small country town, and even I've been gone for 40 years, and so has my wife, 40 years. But if someone said, where am I from, I'd still say the bush.
Yeah.
And then someone said, where do I live? I live in the coast. Yeah, so you have this, I don't know why it is. So when they keep talking to me about, from out our way or our family, I get that, because I don't know if it changes if there's no family there, but there's a significant part of the bush and footy in the bush that for whatever reason you think you have an ownership of. I don't know why it is, but when you leave, you do. It is bizarre. Sort of thought process.
Are there moments you can think of that are the most rewarding that you've had with the club? Because I feel like when outsiders, we often resonate with your personal stories, and we feel like we can then connect with you guys and feel like we know you. Like, what are the moments as being part of this club that changed your life?
Yeah, so back in '96, we had a side in the Koori knockout that was majority boys from back home, but there's a station just outside of Bourke, and like my mother and father, they had a lot to do with it, and they supported that team locally from Bourke, but it doesn't share the same postcode, but it might as well say that it should, but it shares the same postcode as Brewarna, so they helped that team out. It was in honour of my great grandfather, lived till he was like 108 years of age. Yeah, so it was 95. Sorry, we won it under Will Maringle.
Yeah,
that's just a one-way street, and they played like majority about 7 of those boys didn't even play week in week out footy. They just played school footy.
and they won the knockout.
And they won the knockout. They beat players like Brett Grogan, Cliffy Lyons even played that year in the semi-final against Bourke, and Bourke beat them. But we had a couple of my cousins was playing Newcastle Knights. 2 of my cousins played with Andrew Johns there. Yeah, so like just when we won it, that was sort of like a good like I would happen to be in that photo when we won it on Dad's shoulders, and like that was an inspirational moment for me to do something like that. And I was thinking I want to do this one day or win one, you know.
I think a lot of people, Mark, would be saying when you say a station, what do you mean a station?
So, like just a one-way street, one post office, one shop, and just where all families live, like
Right,
like
and everybody just gathered around
just
there.
gathered there. One
And
like
that team
probably-
won the knockout.
Yeah, won a knockout. I did an interview with Ant Mitchell on his podcast for the 9PL
Yep.
because he invited me to come and play in that, and I did that one. We did a podcast, asked guests on YouTube, and we spoke about it on there. I gave him a photo and stuff, which I'll give to you guys and have a look. And then, but yeah, that's my inspiration comes from that because Bourke has never won anything, but all the Bourke players played in that side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you have a look at that era, Bourke wasn't in the comp at that time. Bourke got thrown out of the competition, so a lot of those men were playing in the Group 11 competition, and then a lot of the other guys who made up the team were from boys in high school, so it's sort of unheard of to rake a team up like that and take it. Then they were sort of thinking like their 50-50 chance of getting to the semis or whatever, but they went there and won won the knockout.
So last year it was 30 years since they won it, 30 years since they won it. And I did an interview with my uncle who he captained, coached, managed, doing what I'm doing now. I don't play, but I just coach and manage and do like stuff like that. But I interviewed him, or my mum interviewed him, and he was talking about. She asked him what are your chances of going to win this knockout? You know, and he said probably 20-70 or something like that. And like so it wasn't even a thought to go down and win it. And they got the hardest draw of the weekend, played all the Arn teams, all the Newcastle teams, all the Sig teams, plus Moree. They were good back then. They had Ewan McGrady in them. Yeah, so and the boys went there and won it, and then we had the rights to host it back home in Bourke, and people still to this day still say that was one of the best knockouts that they've ever been to. Like the community got right behind it, you know. But nowadays it's different.
What are the goals for the next few years? Like, is it more just literally you just want to have enough money to get the team on the park, or do you almost going to go, okay, we've got enough good players to go to this certain level, or?
Yeah, absolutely. Like our goal every year is to win it, but I guess like looking at a 10-year plan, we actually want to grow and improve the club by improving our partnerships. I think like when the knockout first started, it was about men. Only in that grew to like 64 teams, which is still the case now. But when you look at the knockout in today, there's about 170 teams in the competition. So it goes from junior 13 boys, 15, 17 boys and girls, and then the females as well as the men's comp. So we want to head towards that. And like we've got a women's side in now. We put that side in last year, and they made the grand final in their very first knockout. Last year they got put out in the quarterfinals, but we also want to look at how do we feed our senior club. So looking at, probably putting in the 13s or 15s or 17s boys. So that's the direction that we want to head in.
And it's kind of a extension to what Emma asked you with the teams. Is this an added burden for not just your team but the teams in the knockout? We see the blokes like Josh Kerr or Josh Adokar come along and play, some of the South boys. Now, to put it bluntly, do those blokes have to be paid?
No. No one needs to be paid to play in a knockout. And ourselves, we pride ourselves in the fact that we don't pay anyone. And we made it to the grand final, we've made it to plenty of semi-finals, and we've never paid a single player. But unfortunately, there are teams who do pay players.
Yeah.
And a lot of boys who come and give back from the NRL, they don't want to be paid either. But you do have clubs who want to win the knockout, so they'll stack aside. And you know what? Like having all that money doesn't always ensure a knockout win either.
Yeah.
So we've seen it a couple of years ago, and War put aside in, and Wild knocked him out in the grand final of Togra. That's a good example of, having all this money doesn't buy you a knockout.
Where is the next knockout, guys?
It's in Newcastle.
Okay, it's not always.
No, if
Doesn't
you
make
win
it
it,
fun,
You can take it,
negotiate
yeah.
with any council or wherever you want to host it, right? So like, Walgett won it. They had it in Bathurst. They won it in Tuggerah, and then they had it back in Bathurst, and then last year they had it in Tamworth.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
So it's about community buy-in, how much your community's willing to spend to get it there, because the economy, like what a knockout generates, is massive, you know, and what you can win as a host of the knockout, you know, potentially up to, you know, a bit over $1 million. So.
And if like you win,
Wow.
you win that money, or you get money from sponsors, and you grow the club, which is great. You need to, and you get more teams. But as you do that and focus on growing the club and winning more, I guess at the core of it, like you've said, it's still about the community. How do you ensure, like, as you keep growing that, being able to help the community and reflect, particularly of the Indigenous community, that's still at the forefront?
So one of my goals is in doing this. So just say if I were to win a knockout, like Bourke's not in an actual comp anymore. Like if they do have a comp out there, they play probably a fortnight away where all the teams meet at one town and play each other. So so they probably have like 6 to 8 rounds, if that. I remember they only had 5 rounds, and it was finished before May. The comp. So one of my goals is if I were to win a knockout, I would be pushing to have the Bourke local team like travel to the Group 11. Which is in Dubbo and based around it, because they already merged that comp with Group 10. So I was thinking if we win the big knockout, that'll be something I'd look at trying to do, and just because I remember when Bourke Rugby League flourished out there, like 2003, that was some of the best Bourke sides I've seen growing up play, like in grand finals and stuff, like from '99 onwards. So like, if we can get that back to that, then that community will be good, you know. But there's just no footy out there or nothing. Like kids have to play like in town, and it's like 7-on-7, like for junior rugby. You know what I mean? So like,
That's your big dream.
Yeah, that's
to get back into the group with Dubbo and.
Well, we haven't been in that comp, but Ningen and Kobe were in our comp back in the day when it was really strong. Even you have other photos of the Bourke teams back then, and like without all the stuff that's going on out there, like they were just fit, big fellas, and like that sort of led them to winning the big knockout.
You say all the stuff going on out there, Mark, and let's be fair here. I assume a lot of these towns, even places like Wellington, there's a drug problem, an underlying drug problem. So, a successful football team and successful athletes from that town can only, rub off on the rest of the town. Am I right in saying there's a little bit of a drug problem?
Yeah, absolutely. There is. Bringing ice in those smaller communities now, like we're starting to see heroines coming back on the scenes out there, and a population of 1,500 people. We grew up out there, and there was a population of about 3,000 people, but there were a lot of different, like the cotton was still flourishing, the fruit was, expanding, so there was a lot of
boxing and everything.
Tourism, there was a lot of different sports, there was heaps to do, and as more and more people move away, there seems to be less to do, and people have too much free time on their hands.
Maroon, one of the things that's always brought up with us was, again, if we could have access to yourself and Emma and the context of the dreams we all have is, could we as a group try and address some of that stuff? That was one of the things they brought up with us, that, we'd be happy to help. Now, I'm not sure how that manifests long term, but that was one of the things that both of these guys and Peter brought up was, we do have a few problems, and if we could use footy and the NRL as a sort of catalyst to address some of that, would be fantastic. So we need PVL.
A part of our previous sponsorship partnerships, we did partner with several organisations, both in Sydney and some in Bourke, to go back and run footy clinics as well. So a lot of our boys are playing those different comps. We did travel back to Bourke and do that sort of stuff, but again, like if we don't have the proper support, then we can't, you know, do it off our own back. So
It's a long way. Like, I guess for us, for the three of us, you're in, like, access to stuff is so simple. You know, if you want to have a sportsman's night, you want to have a training, everything's so easy.
Yeah.
But you're 8 hours away, like, it's a big effort for blokes to get there and try and help out.
No, 100%.
And even having, I imagine even meeting like an NRL player, that would be, you know, one of the highlights of the year, or even some young kids' highlights of their life, to get a role model like that, like an NRL player coming back.
No, 100%.
Are there ones that are really connected with the area, or ones that like sort of favourites of the town, or that are currently?
I have a really close relationship with Fox, Cody, Braden Triple. He's my younger cousin.
Oh, tricky.
I'm related. He's an orchard on my mum's side. Well, his grandmother's an orchard on my mum's side. So like I have access to those guys, but just getting them out there would be.
It's hard.
Like they did a few promotions and stuff like on our Instagram page and stuff. That sort of build our Instagram up and stuff, but like just never had fun to get them out there and do a community visit. Like, it's pretty hard. And plus, like I think like during school holidays, like everything's booked out there, so it's hard to like even go out there and do something like that. But like Shane could touch on it a bit more.
Oh, we do have one of our previous players, Josh Toole. He takes a Nines competition out to Bourke, and like we were a part of that. That's like 2 weeks after the knockout, so it is pretty hot out there at that time.
Yeah.
But, you know, to see the community involvement and the young kids getting up and looking at that sort of stuff, and, you know, the women are starting to play in it, but they're still lacking that support for the junior clubs as well. So
It's still pretty cool too, the blokes buying into it. And if you look at the carnivals, you've had Latrell play a couple of times. Now, I mean, he's playing for, you know, his hometown, he loves it. You know, you've had Inglis before playing it. I mean, there's a fair representation of
majority of that all-star side that just went over to New Zealand, majority of them played the big knockout in 2025. Ollie Pascoe, you had Braden, he usually plays, but I think he come out injured. Josh Curry played as well. Like the Fafita brothers, I took one of the Fafita brothers out to the Nines, as he's talking about that.
Because it'd be difficult for it's probably, if you're Latrell or you're GI, you can probably please yourself. It's probably those mid-level players, clubs are not too excited about
Wayne Bennett was in the Walgett camp last year.
Yeah, right.
He presented the jerseys and stuff.
He's probably close with the Rose brothers.
Yeah, he's close with them. They're my family members as well. Like my great-grandmother and their great-grandmother's sisters.
Well, that was the second question we asked.
The Rose family?
Yeah, the Rose family,
But that was the second, so when we first watched the footy, I thought, that can't be Bill. And the next thing, Matty Rose says, that's not Matty Rose, he'd be as old as me. With all due respect, but you think, that can't be. That can't be. Yeah, so that's how we started watching. But the footy's pretty solid.
So we should, if this is something, I mean, I know Greg and Elise, his wife, quite well with the Goanna Academy. I mean, it would be great to get them out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, maybe just, I don't know how it works, but if funding's an issue, but then if Bankstown can help out with that, because I don't know how it works with
I just think from a community, look, maybe you get melancholy as you get older, but I do know from a local footy community, like, it's always difficult to fund stuff. It's always difficult to get access, and you know, I just love how these blokes now, not all of them are from Bourke, but there's an ownership somewhere, whether it's their mother and father, grandparents. So you call everybody back to a little reunion, you play footy. There's a bit of charm in it, but it's pretty cool.
Oh, bloody oath.
Yeah, like with the Bourke Warriors, it's sort of built its own community itself, you know, like just with the club, and everywhere you go, like the boys will say, he's played for Bourke, he's from Bourke this far, you know.
So O'Shea will go back and play now Ron Massey Cup. And for you two, as far as Bourke Warriors are concerned, apart from the trying to raise funds and trying to get people to help out, which if you can help out, please do, because it's a really good story. But for you blokes, the next big thing for you is the knockout. It's the Melbourne Cup. It's the knockout. It's your big event every year. And when do you start getting them together, training and getting ready for that?
But that's one of the qualities that we don't have as a team. Like we book early, like say on a Thursday, we get down on a Thursday, so we have 2 days to train. That's the only training days we have.
Oh.
But you got other teams that they do a pre-camp because they got funding and backing, like say Walcott and Moore, they do a pre-camp 2 weeks before the big knockout, go have a training camp and do that. But we just show up on a Thursday, then we have 2 training sessions on a Thursday and 2 training sessions on a Friday. 1 in the morning, 1 in the hour, and then we just go from there.
And that's it.
That's
and you go and play from that.
That's it.
And you did so well
and
last
make
year.
a grand final.
Yeah.
So,
Fortunately, like a lot of our boys play in really good competitions
Yeah.
Yeah.
all year round, so they're seasoned, they're fit and that sort of stuff. And just coming together, like I guess the beauty that we have, like we played the Koori knockout, then fortunately this year we played in 2 nines competitions and then a smaller knockout. So some of our boys all play together in that as well. So they're always gelling
Yeah.
and they know each other's game, and having those 2 training sessions is only minimal, but they're carrying seasonal fitness from there.
Yeah.
It takes so much out of just getting out. Well, that's one of our biggest assets or coming to Koori knockout is our camp.
Yeah.
Like once we get in, everybody's just locked in and loaded, and we just want to think about one goal. That's to go there to win and just create a legacy for Bourke itself.
So we've heard beautiful stories. I'm sure anyone listening to all of this would want to help out. But what's your sort of overarching message, or if there's one thing that everyone can take away from the chat about what this club is, what it means? Something that you want everyone to take away and remember. One message.
Yeah, for us, I think it's just about supporting our our families, our original Bourke. Like if Bourke wasn't playing in a knockout, the last major town like going west would be Dubbo. So towns out west don't get televised. Bourke Warriors put a side in last year, but that was the first side for a couple of years. But like we're all about promoting healthy lifestyles, employment opportunities, training, and getting the boys into like different comps to put on a better life for them. And like if you look at it, most of our players are all marquee players in the teams that they play in. So like O'Shea comes from up around Nambucca way, and then he's now playing down here. Tony and Colby Pello, they come from our Bourke and Warren, and they're playing in really good comps. Peter Lett, he's down here like playing at Oakdale. He was like our major forward this year, but we've got really good guys. So you come from such poor communities playing for Bourke now and getting offered big contracts and money elsewhere, and they're changing their lifestyles dramatically in that.
Yeah, all right. Well, mate, we like to pick and stick at Bankstown RSL, and I think it's typical of Scott to pull this out of absolutely nowhere and say, hey.
Well, thank our board too, because at the end of the day, that's different from me sitting talking to you, but they eventually sign off on these things, and they're the same. They want to help. They want to be part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, massive thanks to Bankstown RSL.
Well, here's to it being a long relationship and very fruitful for you guys, because like as Scott was saying, and I know Em feels the same, it's all up, it's all positive. It's you blokes trying to do something great for Bourke. So I mean, Scott and his team have the means to help, and I think it's absolutely wonderful. And I hope other organisations, particularly commercial organisations, it's not going to cost them anything to help you guys to slip your 5 or 10K. It's not going to make
Has
any
nothing
difference
to
to their bottom
do.
line, and it's going to help you guys out so much.
Yeah.
So
I just want to say too, I can, from not knowing you guys from a bar of soap and just meeting you, can see, I know Maroon will say the same thing, how passionate you guys are. So I think, they're very lucky to have you guys involved, because it's, if you didn't have people as passionate for the cause, then it's going to go nowhere. So I think, well done.
As you might see on Fox Sports when they're showing a knockout in the grand final, you can see me yelling. I have no voice at the podium afterwards trying to talk, and the passion is there. And like you see in our huddles and that before we walk out, like our players have got tears in their eyes before they get on the field.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful to see, and then you got all the little kids that's underneath looking up at them, like, and it's crazy to see it. And like once we bring someone in from even out of there, but it got ties to me or got ties to some of our players in the side, they come here and they call it home. Like, you know what I mean? So like it's pretty good to have a squad like that and leave the knockout like that, and then our group chat starts straight away.
Yeah.
And we're just everybody's in there talking, and you have players from out Oakdale that plays out in Group 6, and they already calling us family as well as O'Shea does.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's pretty good.
thanks for letting us get involved, guys. And look, we watch all the rugby league anyway, the three of us. But now we've got a little bit of more than a little bit of an interest in the knockout this year. So God bless, guys, and I just wish you all the very best. The only thing is you'll have to get O'Shea to shut up a bit. He just talks. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
That was great.
Yeah, that was good.
They was. It's all true.
It's all true.
Emma will be calling their game.
Yeah,
Bit of
yeah.
practice.
Come call the knockout.
Yeah.
Although it's on
Look, I
Fox.
mean with a knockout.
Fox Sports is in, like there too, you know. Like
Yeah.
pension-wise.
Yeah, they do
Yeah.
it. Jake usually goes, doesn't he? Duke?
Yeah, Jake goes, yeah.
Jake Duke.
Mate,
Yeah.
they
So
said-
he does the narrating.
Yeah.
For the like lead ups.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of it?
Yeah, I watched heaps
Yeah.
of it.
It's pretty solid.
It's
Yeah.
good footy. It's good attacking
I
footy.
remember as a kid, and most of it was, just pissed and fights.
Yeah.
And the guy said to me, when we were first talking, that they cleaned all that maybe 10 years ago, and then footy just became footy. I thought the footy was outstanding.
Yeah.
100%. Like
I can't believe how many NRL players they've managed to get
yeah,
back.
like on the last day, it's not like back on the Sunday and the early Monday, it's semi-professional footy. Like you see some of the completion rates and like just the speed of it.
Yeah.
Like I bring Dill Laurie, as I mentioned when we come to see him before. He's never played a knockout before, but I bring him and played his first knockout up in Tuggerah in 2019 before COVID. And he played with us up there, and he said, "Bro, what is this?" We play Cody Walker and them. They have Brian Kelly, Cody Walker, like Ryan Walker, like from up in northern area, and we played them. Unfortunately, they beat us, but Dill Lawrence never played anything like this.
Yeah.
He's a good boy.
He ended up playing one more year with us, and then like he said, "Nah, bro, I can't do it no more. It's too
So
fast."
is Cody from Casino?
Yeah, he's from Casino. Yeah. That's his brother, Ryan Walker.
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
love that concept, and I know people from little town, same with the Brides, and the Brides from Gunley, I'm from Yas, and you still think of yourself as being from there. If they had a similar scenario where they had anybody from them come out and play, would they do it? I think they would.
Yeah.
I think the whole concept is just a real cracker.
Yeah, no, they would play like Tamana's a Bourke Warriors as well, but he's never played for Bourke. He's always played at knockout, but he's played for Newcastle. Yeah, he's married into that family over there.
Yeah, right.
Like he still has a bit to do. He commentates as well for NITV and like up at the knockouts. But yeah, look, you'd be freaked out how many NRL players, all Jersey Flag, New South Wales Cup, Queensland Cup, all play there.
But that's the thing about if you're trying to do something at home, makes it easier because that top end blokes still like it. Yes, there's a real ownership in it, and time and money could get them there to do the sort of stuff. You're talking about clinics or anything, but I reckon the availability would be easy. It's just whether you can do it financially. Because like to get there and get back, you probably need 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Like it's not an easy trip.
No.
It's a 4 days travel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's a full year thing,
Well,
trying to get it.
You
get
could
us
drive
there.
us. What
Well,
you
well,
fly
just
to
think
Dubbo
about
and get out and
when we were
drive?
kids.
Could you?
We just, if you want
From
to.
How long
You
does it take?
You can fly to
How long does it take to drive? To
About
say
8.5 hours.
To the city.
But with minimal stops.
Yeah.
That's the other thing with the city. Like when you from the bush, the quickest game we got to when we were kids is probably an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Now we whinge and complain we've got to drive 30 minutes up in Holsworth.
Yeah.
Well, in saying that, like I was saying, if like
That's the worst, you know.
back into the group level, it would be a long
Yeah.
trip. So Bourke would have to travel to Lithgow.
Oh, you're joking.
Because Lithgow's
Oh, Group 10.
Yeah, Group 10. But they're all merged. But insane like Lithgow.
Oh, so Group 10 and Group 11.
When Oberon
Yeah,
is-
Yeah,
right.
they merged like the.
So you'd have to play Oberon.
Yeah, no, I don't know. No, Oberon's not in that comp. Lithgow's separate to Oberon.
Oh, is it?
They're in Group 10.
But
You
you'd
got
have to.
Blaney, and you got Blaney.
Yeah,
But
an
can you-
orange
Can you
and.
imagine how cold it is?
It's freezing orange. Like the boys played
They'd have
there this
blamed you in
year,
the winter.
and like a few of the boys come with an injury from there, you know, and just said, no, we don't want to play in orange. You know,
Yeah.
some of them stay home. No,
Yeah.
even go and play there, but.
All right, well that's good. Well,
You gotta
I'll
get
give
out
you
there.
my number, and if ever we can help, I'm on Triple M to call the footy every week. And
So normally got to watch the footy online and listen to Maroon on Triple M.
but
Set your
Now,
radio
Emma's-
station up in our tent.
yeah, and M's calling.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Pretty
like
Games?
mate. But apparently they're saying that when you come out of the practice, you sound like rats.
I don't
You
know.
go, come on, guys, don't fuck around with me.
So when we get those jackets, you have to wear those jackets.
Yeah,
They've got
shit, yeah.
Bankstown RSL, so they look actually like a, we're trying to get them so they didn't, you know, you could wear them without looking like us. But there's
They look good with the B on them.
They
That's,
did, I thought they looked
Yeah,
pretty,
yeah.
they'll Shane up work, but,
Yeah.
and then the caps. So we'll need a coach on the sideline and a cap.
mate, just call any time. We'll fix it for
Yeah,
you.
no, that's,
Yeah.
yeah, but I reckon the whole concept is just a crack of an idea.
Yeah. Oh shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gonna.
Well, the
this year
furthest team to get
we'll
there
be in it.
as
We'll
well.
be-
Like Bourke is the
Well,
furthest team
depends
to
how far
travel as
away.
well.
Yeah.
Can't have
Yeah, we're going to have a look.
Yeah.
Well, because it's at where is it this year, boys?
Newcastle.
Newey. Oh well, that's because the Yowies.
Yeah.
But the Yowies would be paying blokes, wouldn't
They
they?
pay blokes.
Yeah.
100% they do.
Yeah.
We off camera yet?
We're off camera, still
So
recording.
I'm probably blessed in that, because could I take the bride and go, yeah, because the bride likes the footy. So it's not like, it's not a chore to go to the football.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.